Hi. Today, we're here doing some more of our candidate interviews. I'm Gretchen Kother, and this is Louise Hudson, and we're with the Lee County Federated Republican Women. So today we have Randy Pettigrew, who is a candidate for New Mexico State Representative District 61. So Randy, at this time, would you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a native Lee Countian. My family heritage goes back to 1904 from the Purview and the King area. I live in Lovington and was actually born here at the hospital when they were still having babies. I have a beautiful wife and 3 daughters, and I'm excited to serve our county and our state.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Randy, so I'm going to ask you the first question that we had already submitted to you is, what would your energy policy be for the state of New Mexico?
Well, to be clear, New Mexico is the reason why the United States has been able to achieve energy security. In 2008, Lee County started the Energy Plex campaign. This included oil and gas, wind, solar, nuclear, biofuels. The Martinez administration, when they came on board, followed that. Lee County was recently named the #1 oil and gas producer and provides a significant part of the revenue and the jobs to this critical industry for New Mexico. In addition, Lee County has been a strong advocate for renewables. We have wind, solar, biofuels, nuclear, all in our county. With respect to renewables, as they continue to come into the market, I believe we need to address 2 specific issues. One of them, stability. These industries need to be able to stand on their own. Several of the projects in Lee County that were funded by the American Recovery and Reliability Act of 2009 failed, went bankrupt. There are significant subsidies in place for renewables at the state level right now. This has driven investment from out-of-state developers. We need to change that. And bottom line is renewables need to stand on their own without those subsidies. I would consider at the state level developing bonding requirements for renewables that are consistent with the requirements on the oil and gas and the nuclear industry. This is specific to the decommissioning purposes. With regard to our most important part of the energy, oil and gas, I would support that we continue our efforts to reduce the red tape with respect to unwarranted regulation, encourage quicker permitting of right-of-way and leasing on state lands, and support the expanded use of produced water if and when the science supports that.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. Our second question is, what would you do to put that policy into practice?
I would research and study the statutes that the state land office is required to implement right now. I would focus on how we can reduce the time required to access environmentally sound permitting of right-of-way, business leases, and disposal levels. And if legislation is required to make improvements in that process, and I will garner the support and introduce such legislation for consideration by the legislator. I've worked with the State Land Office and the Oil Conservation Division to introduce legislation that would make all energy industries consistent and equal with regard to decommissioning and bonding. And as a member of the legislature, I would work to develop relationships with fellow colleagues that would allow me to educate them on the oil and gas industry, its importance to the state of New Mexico, and reverse the attitude in Santa Fe that denigrates the petroleum industry. Support new technologies and current research to affect minimal environmental impact, and I would oppose any effort to increase the distribution from the permanent fund, as an additional increase would have a negative effect on the overall value of our funding. We'll also work to reduce the New Mexico tax on the gross value of production. Currently, New Mexico sets at about 9%. The lower 48 average is just over 5%. And I lost you for a second. All right. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so our third question for you then is, What would you do to improve the education system in New Mexico?
I believe that our educators, like all other professions, need to be respected and valued. Over the past several years, there's been a significant drop in our applications for schools for educators. The number of individuals choosing to apply continues to drop. This isn't just a New Mexico problem, it's a nationwide problem. And as a legislator, I would support initiatives that would encourage prospective teachers into the field. I would increase loan for service funding for those that complete their degree or licensed teachers and agree to work in New Mexico for a certain period of time. I would support funding for teacher housing in areas of the state that have high cost of living and experience teacher shortages in specific fields such as STEM and STEAM. This last year, the state legislature increased salaries for teachers and staff in order to attract new teachers and retain those currently in place. This was an increase of a 4% average across the school district. With the anticipated budget shortfall, I would work to keep those salary increases in place and push to make that a 4% solid instead of an average across each district, and look for other areas of appropriation that could be adjusted and reduced. I think we've made great strides with a focus on K through 12. Unfortunately, New Mexicans haven't experienced and seen those changes. Every 4 years at the state administration level, we're mandating testing changes with no standards. I would make smart fair goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And I would encourage parents to continue to work and teach at home and work with our schools.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the last question we have for you is, given the current COVID-19 crisis, what is the number one challenge for New Mexico?
Gross receipts and revenue. I mean, currently our budget is based off of $52 a barrel fuel. And the amount of money we're losing right now at the current oil rate, we are pulling from an excess of $125 million a month from our reserves to be able to continue. So I think the COVID-19, our biggest issue is gross receipts. And how are we going to continue to do that? The effect it's having on small business is dramatic. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time today and all your answers and everything. So again, would you please state your name and the race that you're running in?
My name is Randall Pettigrew. I am running for House of Representatives District 61. I am a conservative Republican, and I support our sheriffs with respect to the red flag law. And I look forward to serving in Santa Fe.
All right. Well, thanks again. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.